Well, hello, Stampers. It's the Pampered Stamper coming to you from Sclavazelde, the Netherlands. My name is Jackie van der Sarboot, and I'm a Canadian demonstrator who is also a demonstrator in Europe. Now, how on earth is that possible? Well, this crazy squirrel married an amazing Dutchman, and so for a few years I'm living in Holland, but traveling back and forth to Canada quite a bit. And so that means I get to be a demonstrator in both markets. And I really hope you take advantage of that because I'm super excited about it. Today I'm sharing with you a card made using the new In colors. I'm really excited about it, and that's part of my story today because these In colors, they are exactly the same colors that are used by a beautiful company in the Netherlands called Little Dutch. And they make baby clothes and baby toys, and they have exactly these colors. They're slightly muted, but the same tones, and they're just beautiful. So I'm really happy. I was excited to see them, and it was the first thing I thought of. So let's take a look. And these are the colors: Moody Mauve, Wild Wheat, Pebbled Path, Copper Clay, and Bojo Blue. So I've already made a few cards with these colors, and I've been using the stamp set Cheerful Daisies. And I love this set. It's wonderful. The Oopsie Daisy, I'm thinking that must be from the 70s and the 80s. I don't think you hear that saying so often anymore, but it makes me smile. So I had stamped them all out in Bojo Blue. And because of that, I had some extra pieces. So I'm excited about that. The next thing I want to show you is something that is not available in the catalog. They are the 3D Basics embossing folders, and they're beautiful. They're 3D, which means they're super thick, and they're part of our online exclusive. So there's a whole lineup of Stampin' Up! Products that are kind of hidden away on the internet, and you should check them out because there's some really cool things that even I missed. And the thing about those is that it avoids the disappointment of things being sold out, which can happen. So here they are, and today we're using the middle one, which is a type of floral. And so it's a Z-fold card that we're going to make, and we're going to use the color Wild Wheat. So you're going to start with a normal sized card, which in metric is 10.5 centimeters by 29.8, scored at 14.9. Now to make the Z-fold, we're going to do an extra score line at 7.45. And if you're in Canada or the States, it's 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2 with an extra score line at 2 3/4. So let's just get the paper trimmer out, and we'll move our ink pads out of the way. There we go. And I just think it's pretty awesome. So now we're going to 7.45. So it's the little line between 7.4 and 7.5. So right there. And then we're using our gray blade, which is the scoring blade. And then you can get rid of that. So then you're going to fold it in half. And then on this score line, you are going to fold back. And then you have what looks like a Z. So it's a Z fold. Okay. And then we're going to take this piece and we're going to put it in the embossing folder. So you take your embossing folder. Whoops. You do not throw it. You open it up. Put this part in. And then close it, and then we're going to run it through the die cutting machine. And then this is what it looks like. Look at the transformation of that. Isn't that beautiful? I love embossing. It's just a wow. Okay, so that's going to be like this. And then I'm going to show you the pattern paper that I used. Okay, and this is it. And I'd like to just flip it, but I don't think that works. I think my camera is too low, but let's see if I can do it. It's pretty crazy paper. And then we get to the part that I'm going to use, which is this one. And it has all those squares, and I've used them to make different cards. And I'll show you the cards later that I've made. Today, I'm going to use this piece. Yesterday, I used this one. And a few days ago, I used this one. And the very first one that I used was this one here. And I'll show you the cards at the end so that you can see them all. But the one that I'm going to use now is actually a pretty basic one. It's this one. Just a simple thing. And I thought when I laid it on this paper, I thought, okay, I want it to pop a little bit. So I thought I would use Night of Navy. And I will let you know what the measurements are. So this one you simply cut out of the paper. You don't have to measure anything. You just cut along the lines. And then the navy, the Night of Navy piece is, I'll do it in centimeters first. It's 7.6 centimeters by 10.2. And in inches, it's 3 inches by 4 inches. So that's easy. 3 by 4. And you know, our trimmers have centimeters and inches on them, so don't freak out when you go on someone else's website and they have the measurements differently. You can still work with them. So let's get I've got quite a pile of stuff on the left where you can't see. Sometimes I wish I had a person videoing for me instead of having a stationary camera, because it would be fun for you to see what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe not so much fun for me, but yeah. I've had the privilege of Stampin'Up events, and then you've got a professional videographer, and he's videoing you while you work, and it's pretty cool. You do feel like quite a star. Okay, so I'm just kind of easing this into position. There. That's why I like to use liquid adhesive. And then I'm going to put it on here, about like so. I want to kind of put it so that it's in the middle, see, on either side. So now I just want to put adhesive on this side. Super important, because otherwise you're going to have exposed glue, and you don't want that. So you might be asking yourself, why did you start Stories and Stamps, Jackie? And I'll tell you why. It's because stories are important. We like stories. And when I used to do my in-person coffee and a card class, I love to share stories with my people. I love to tell my stories, and I love to hear their stories. When we hear people's stories, we get to know them better. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself. I was going to tie a ribbon around here, but I actually should put my paper. Well, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it. I can slide this around to where I need it to go. I just want to tie this in a knot. So anyway, I just thought I want to tell stories while I stamp. And so that's what I've done. And for a while there, I had super specific stories to tell. I wanted to share the story because people asked me, you know, how did you and Gerard meet? And then I got to thinking about it, and that was such a complicated story, because we met because I came to a birthday party. I came to Holland to visit my relatives. I would never have met Gerard if my parents hadn't been born in the Netherlands and they hadn't immigrated and they didn't have lots of family still here. So that's how that happened. But anyway, so then I told the story of how my parents met and their life, and it's just so cool. So if you want to look at that, just go on my, I have a whole playlist called Stories and Stamps, and then you can see the stories from my parents. Okay, so now I have, because I did all that stamping, see, I did all this stamping and then I cut a bunch out. So I have this one, and I have the stem here, and let's have a look. I kind of like it that the stem is hanging down a little bit. You don't want it to hang past where it's going to be. I like that. And then I have a tiny little banner with Hello Lovely on there. So I'm going to move that a little bit this way and then tuck the stem up a little bit like so. There. All right. I'm going to put the stem on first because then I know it's not going to hang over the edge. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back, and I'm going to put the stem on like so. There. And then we'll pop up, we're going to pop up the flower just to give it a little dimension. These are called dimensionals, and they're little foam stop signs. Well, they're not probably quite stop signs, but close enough. 6 sides. The stop sign has 8 sides, I think. I was going to call it a Septuagint, but that's 7. And the Septuagint is actually a version of the Bible from a long, 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 long time ago. Yeah, it's amazing what the brain stores. Okay, I'm going to do that. And then we're going to put the little Hello Lovely on. Isn't that cute? I thought I had ordered the in-color gems, but I didn't. They would be a nice addition on here. Oh goodness, I think I did this wrong. I put my adhesive all the way to the end, and I shouldn't have done that. There, we're just going to extend it a little bit then. there. And then in the inside, we're going to just put a piece of white. Look how nice that is. It just makes everything pop. So that's a Z fold card. A Z fold card is just a really easy, fun fold that you can do without really having to think at all. And it's just different. It's nice to do something a little bit different. So we'll just slide that in. And kind of wriggle it in place. That should do. And there we have it. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that embossing gorgeous? I think it's beautiful. And I love the way the ribbon ties in with it. So you just, and I'm not going to write anything in it yet because I don't know who's going to get this card. So I can stamp something. I don't know if I have an extra. I don't know. And I don't think you want to put anything here because see how that just ruins it? I could put a daisy in the inside on that side. That would look pretty. But I'm not going to commit to that yet because I want to keep it. So here are the daisies from that bundle. So just so you see those. And here are the in color papers. Let's see if I can show you them. So you get these if you join the In Color Club. And you can read about that on my blog. Okay, now I promised I would show you the other in color cards that I made. So here we go. This one is from yesterday from my cheer corner, Moody Mauve. And you can see I love making a series. They all coordinate. Same set, same paper. Here is Wild Wheat and Pebbled Path. I had to think about that. That was the first one, Pebbled Path with Wild Wheat and Bojo Blue. And this is a stamp set called In the Moment, which I absolutely adore. And then this is my card with Bojo Blue. And I'm going to do one more card in the series. And actually, you know what? I'm thinking maybe I should do it today yet with you. Would you like to make another in color card? Let's do it. We can do it. We have time. Okay, people. The question is, how good is your memory? Do you remember which cards I've shown you and which color we haven't done yet? We have one color left. So while you think about that, I'm going to grab something to show you. Okay, have you come up with it? Well, the answer is Copper Clay. So Copper Clay is going to be the last card that we make. And this is the Countryside Corners stamp. Now, when I saw this, I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it was a whole bunch of stamps or dies nested in each other. It is not. It's a whole pile of dies for sure. And we're going to use this tiny little guy today. But this is just one big background stamp that you can cut apart. And I'm not sure how I like that yet, so I'll let you know. But this is the one we're using today, so I thought I would show you. And then this is the piece of paper that came from that daisy, Life's a Daisy paper, okay? So it has the Copper Clay and it has the Bojo Blue. So I took a Copper Clay card base. So again, it's 11 inches by 4 1/4 scored at 5 1/2, or it's 29.8 centimeters by 10.5 centimeters scored at 14.9. How about that? I've got the European measurements. I'm so happy. Okay, so we're just going to take this simple, simple, simple. We're letting the paper do the work. So just putting a little bit of adhesive on the back. And let me know if you guys need a new catalog, okay? The Stampin' Up! Catalogs have arrived. They're on my porch in Chatham, Ontario, but I also have several cases here in the Netherlands. So let me know if you either want to pick one up or if you want me to mail it to you, okay? Because the catalog is my store. Of course, you can see it online, but it is really nice having it in your hands. It's also an idea book. You can copy cards out of there. So I'm just going to do that. Then I'm going to do my old trick with the ribbon, and I'm going to tie it around because there's a bit of a gap here, and I don't like that. And we're just going to tie it in a knot. Keep all your pieces flat, and then it just goes a dream. No worries. Okay, tie it nice and tight. And then the one thing you want to do is you want to trim your ends so you don't get that fraying. Okay. I always tie ribbon around my ribbon scissors, so that's all they're used for, because paper dulls your scissors. Okay. So now I already stamped the Oops-a-Daisy. And I should show you, let's see, here is the Cheerful Daisies die, right, that we're using. There's the Oops Daisy. And then look, there's all the dies. And here is the die that I used for the sentiment. So that comes with it. It's a great stamp set, great value, so much you can do with it. Okay, so then I thought, I've got this pretty daisy. I want to bring out, put a bit of pop of yellow in there. And then on this end, I thought it would be fun to use these little guys. So that's what we're going to do now. Now I'm actually going to use something that isn't, well, I guess I could use liquid adhesive. Sure, why not? There. And then I'm just going to hold it in front of me like this and put this one piece on. And then I'm going to put the other one on. And I don't want them to be exactly the same length. I like it that they're a little bit different. There. And now I do have a little bit of adhesive on my fingers. Just give them a rub and they'll come clean. No biggie, no stress. And now we're going to add a few dimensionals. And I'm going to just put one right over top and another one here. So you can see how quick and easy this card is. Card making is stress-free. It should be stress-free. You're doing this because you want to unwind, you want to relax, you want to change someone's life for the better. I think I'll put it up there. And then I'm going to pop this up as well. I'm going to just put one dimensional in the middle. That should do it. And then kind of overlap it a little bit like so. Nice. See? And then in the inside, we can just, yeah, I like that. So a little bit of adhesive again, and I could stamp, or I have another idea. Let's see, tuck this in. So this piece would be 5 1/4 by 4 inches, or it would be 10 centimeters by 14.4. Okay. And then I thought it would be nice to just put this one here. So we're just going to put a little bit of liquid adhesive on the back. A little bit here. And a little bit here. And then you'll have a beautiful card. Simple and beautiful. Right? Oopsie daisy, so sorry. It's so important. You know what? I think I did this daisy upside down. Is that possible? Does it matter? I don't think so. It's so important to own it when you make a mistake. Own it when you've hurt someone. Own it when you've said something rash and that it probably hurt someone's feelings. Listen to your gut. There's my psychology for the day. If you got this cringe moment when you said something, or you said something and you kind of all of a sudden the room went quiet, chances are you said something that was unkind or uncalled for. And then, you know what? Just send a card. Say, you know what? Because sometimes it can be confrontational to do it in person. But you could send a card and say something like, you know, at that dinner party the other night and I said this or that. I really shouldn't have. I'm so sorry. That was so hurtful. And oh my goodness. So it's so easy to let relationships get ruined. But it's also so easy to restore them if you want to. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and hit that red subscribe button. And then a little bell icon will pop up. Click on that as well, and then you'll get notified whenever I upload or whenever I go live. I'm so glad you joined me today. I hope you have a super day. And remember, we can change the world one card at a time. Bye.